this is actually taking the 10 years, the 35 million that we've generated for our business, the 122 million that our clients have produced. Like this is everything into a one-pager that you can follow. Branding, up-level, leadership, momentum, traffic, decision-making. You need a map, you need a plan, and then you need a guide. I'm going to give you the map, I'm going to give you the plan, and I'm going to be your guide. I'm going to take you through this step by step. For many of us in the room, this is the key to you breaking through, and you are stuck because you don't have momentum in your business. And when I say business, I'm talking about every area. You haven't gotten to the part yet where it's more fun and it's more enjoyable because something's working that you can build on and do more of it and then continue to get that momentum and get the wheels moving. And that's what I want for you. I think for many of you, you get stuck for a multitude of reasons. Number one, it might be lack of confidence in yourself, your offer, what you have, who you're trying to serve, your message. I think I've spent in the last 4 months, I've clocked in more hours perfecting this. So it looks simple, but this is really, really important. So we're going to break this down step by step. The first thing that I've realized because I've been doing this now for so long, I've worked with so many clients, and we talked about traffic and funnels and sales, and people jump straight to that. We get there so quickly. When it doesn't work, we wonder why, and we blame the algorithm, we blame the video, we blame this, we blame that. What I've realized is for most of us, we haven't got what I call your house in order. You haven't got your house in order. You're trying to build your business on a really uneven foundation. You haven't thought through the things that are needed for your business to be grounded. And so there's a few things that we have to touch on. So this is step one, okay? Step one is we get your house in order. And there's a few things that comes into this. The first thing, and again, this is after working with just hundreds and hundreds of clients, the first thing we have to do is work on you. For some of you in the room, you realize this is the case, and for others of you in the room, you're wanting that not to be the thing. You're just really hoping that it's not. And I battled with this for a long time. You know, I used to do, when people would talk about mindset stuff, and all, I was that person, like, oh, get out of here with all that woo-woo nonsense. You know, it just didn't make any sense to me. I don't need to think, and I just need to just do. Just give me the traffic. But I have realized over time just how important this is. If you're lacking confidence, here's just an example. If you're lacking confidence in your price point, in the avatar that you're trying to attract, in your value, can you actually do this? Are you actually good enough? Like if any of these thoughts start to invade your mind, knowingly or unknowingly, what'll end up happening is your traffic won't work, your funnels won't work, and it's only because you're not confident. And because of that lack of confidence, you're not actually writing your copy properly. You're not putting things out there fast enough. You're procrastinating and staying inside of these little comfort zones because it makes you feel good, because getting out of the comfort zone activates the fact that you don't think you're good enough, you're not confident in your offer, and so on and so forth. So this is absolutely paramount. It's really important. So I'm going to take you through the map, and then as we go through the 3 days, we're going to be diving deep. So that's the first thing. We've got to work on you. What else do we need to do to get your house in order? Well, over here, we need your offer. And I say offer, singular. I'm going to talk more about this in a minute, but for many of you in the room who are trying to get momentum in the business, you are actually causing yourself problems and slowing down the momentum because you've loaded up your offer menu too much. You've got too many things and no one's buying any of them. So why have you got so much? And we often do this, and it's a mistake, and I really hope you write this down. If you have your first core main offer and that's not selling, so you think, well, no one's buying that, so maybe I'll add a second option, because then surely now, if they see that one and don't want that one, then they might want this one. Okay, no one's buying that one now, so maybe I'll add another one over here, and you start to build out this offer suite, and you're going in the complete wrong direction. You need to find out why did someone not buy the one you already had, because there was a problem there, and adding another offer is not going to fix it. Adding another offer is not going to fix it. So you need to have one offer and one offer only. You need to decide what price point you're going for. Are you going mid-ticket and you're going to sell a $1,000 course? Are you going high-ticket and you're going to go into 3, 4, 5, 10, 20,000 or beyond? Are you going to go low-ticket? I don't recommend that, but are you going to go low-ticket? If you pick one of those, you can make them all work. There are buyers in your market for all of those. So if one of them is not selling, doing another one is also not going to sell because you haven't got the messaging right, you haven't got the positioning right. Is that making sense? Tracking with me? Yeah? 4 people? Any more? Okay. So that's the offer. Then we've got brand. This is more important now than it's ever been, actually. There was a time, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where, and then everything before that, we didn't really need to focus on brand. It wasn't that important. You could just slap up a funnel page, didn't even have a logo, just a headline and an opt-in button, and someone would opt in, go to a video, and they'd buy something. Like that used to be the play. Where we are now, branding is really, really important. Branding's critical now. Not just visually the way you represent yourself, but your voice, your tone, the way that everything connects in your business, the way that you build your authority and positioning in the marketplace. This is actually really, really important, and it's another reason why we're going to talk about it over the course of the 3 days. And then over here we got ops. Okay, over here we got ops. Now, this is the operation of the business. Now, when you're in that early stage and you're trying to get momentum, this might just look like tracking your numbers. Knowing your ruddy numbers, the amount of clients I speak to, and there's chaos here and there's chaos there, and that's not working. Okay, and I ask them for 3 simple numbers and I don't know them. You've got to know your numbers. You've got to track them. How many clicks are you getting? Where are those clicks coming from? How are they interacting in the funnel? What's your email marketing backend looking like? Just a simple tracking sheet where at least you can just have a one-pager where you know the numbers in the business. Because otherwise, you will get stuck in this just chaos. Because you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and nothing's really sticking, and then you don't know why because you're not measuring it, you're not making what I call data-driven decisions. So you've got to start to track your numbers. Really, really, really important. So this makes up getting your house in order. Okay? Everyone tracking with me so far? We don't really move on to thinking about traffic and funnels until we feel like we've worked on us and the areas that are blocking us. We've got our offer in place. We know what we're selling. We know how we're selling it. We know who we're selling it to. And we know what price point we're selling it at. We're going to talk more about this over the course of the 3 days. And we put some branding over the top of that. And then we make sure that we're just getting a little operation in place so that we've actually got some data that we can make decisions on. That's your ops. And it's not until that happens that you get to leave your house and go and start thinking about traffic, okay? That says traffic, by the way. So you're not allowed to leave your house until you've got it in order, all right? Now, I'm going to move on to the next step, but I will give those of you in the room that are at the expansion level now the extra add-ons, because there are a couple of things that kind of stem off from the offer, and there's something that stems off from the ops. If you already have momentum in the business, and now you're looking to expand what you're doing, well then, over on the you stuff here, this just becomes a new version of you now. You do realize that, right? As you grow and scale your business, you get achievement in your business, which is great. You achieve the stuff you're looking for, but tied with that is transformation. It's really cool how that works. So as you propel forward in the business, you get more results. You start to transform. Not just transforming the lives of the people that you're helping, but you actually up-level. You learn new skills. You become a new version of yourself. And if you're paying attention to that, it actually becomes quite exciting. It becomes pretty cool. Because you don't want business to get boring. And that's actually an area where it won't get boring because you're constantly up-leveling and challenging yourself. So this is where it now becomes about leadership, decision-making, the way you think about your business, the way you conduct yourself. Ops over here, it basically breaks off into 2 things. The first thing it breaks off into is M&M. And M&M is metrics and monitoring. If you're at momentum stage, you've got to have a simple dashboard where you're starting to track these things. If you've got momentum now, and maybe it keeps stopping, it's like you felt like you had some momentum, you had some clients, you had some funnels, and then it was like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And so you kind of got momentum, but you're not really sure if it's sticking around. Then this is where now this is probably one of the reasons why that's happening. Because you're not tracking the right numbers, you're not monitoring the right numbers. Because we track, and then based on what we're tracking, we make decisions because of the way we're monitoring. So this might look like now having multiple tracking sheets. Your acquisition activity, the way you look after your clients and the customer service, your operations, you have a different tracking sheet for everything. So in expansion, this is added, okay? And then the other piece is team. How many of you in the room, by show of hands, already have, let's say, a small team of 3 people or more? Anyone? Yeah, awesome. That's exciting. That's really exciting. So then it becomes about building out a team, people that can help you, assist you, but you've got to find the right people in the right seats. So you've got to get yourself out of the business in the areas where it would be better to delegate and keep you in the business where you're providing the most value. So again, one of the reasons why we struggle to expand is because some of us have started growing a team, and what ends up happening is you hire a team and your profit goes like this, you know? You're just like, you're ready and excited, you've got momentum, and now I'm ready to go ahead and explode and expand. And so you start hiring a team and doing that, and it's like the business just takes a dive, you know? You might have the wrong people in the wrong seats here, so that's something that needs to be spoken about. And then over here at offers, I've got to be careful because this could take me a while because I quite enjoy talking about this, but you've got horizontal offers and vertical offers. When you're looking to expand, now you go beyond the one offer, and you do start to bolt on other things, okay? So when you're getting momentum, when you're going from where you are now to a multi-six-figure run rate, you just need one offer. Like seriously. You could get to 50K a month. Some of our clients go to 100K a month with just one offer, you know? So you can actually start to scale to some really big numbers with just one offer. But when you're going to build out your offer suite, it needs to be because the first one's proven, and then you can add on more. But how do we think about it? Horizontal and vertical offers. Can I walk you through what that means? Yes? Okay. Is this helpful? Yes. Yeah? Okay. So when we add on more offers, we need to be strategic with why we're doing it. We don't just want to add another offer for the sake of it. There needs to be a purpose, there needs to be a reason. So let's imagine that this line here represents your avatar level. Got 0 there. And these are your avatar levels. And this over here is your delivery level, okay? And we've got different levels along here. Essentially, starting at 0 on avatar is your avatar at the very early stage. They don't even know they have a problem yet. So for example, I help coaches and experts and service providers to grow and scale their business. So I'm getting an avatar slightly further up the avatar level because they already know, they've discovered that. They've gone through the levels of discovery. My avatar, my perfect avatar right now, if we trace it all the way back to before the business was even an idea, before they realized they had a problem, whatever the case would be, well, they're back here at 0, okay? And then delivery level is how much am I giving to that client? So 0 on delivery would be, well, I'm giving them absolutely nothing, not doing anything. Coming up here slightly might be I'm putting some free content out on YouTube and I'm helping those people that way. And then, of course, it continues. Maybe you've got a low-ticket offer and then that gets slightly more expensive, $100 and then $500 and $1,000 and $10,000 and $20,000, and then you've got your highest delivery level over here. Everyone tracking with that so far? Yeah? So when you picked your first offer, you positioned it somewhere on this chart. You decided what type of avatar do you want to speak to? Right here, they didn't even know a coaching business existed, and then they moved up through the ranks. And at the very top, maybe that's like one of my titans in Titan Mastermind, and they're doing $1 million a month, right? So they're at the top of the avatar ladder. That's the top of who I would be going out and attracting with my marketing. And then there's everything in between. So I'm picking, okay, where's the avatar level? Okay, it's a coach who hasn't got momentum yet and is struggling to get their stuff in order, but they've got a good product and they've got a good idea, and they know who they can serve, and they're taking massive action. They've been at this for a few years, so I'm going to pin myself about here. And then how do I want to serve those people? Do I want to start low ticket, or do I want to go super high ticket to start? And so, as you'll know, we often position ourselves about there. We position ourselves for kind of a higher ticket offer. Maybe this is, I don't know, let's say $5,000. So it's a higher ticket offer, servicing people slightly further up the avatar level, and then we're coming over the higher ticket side of the delivery level. So this is our first core offer. Once we have that, and we start to bolt on different offers, you need to be strategic about why and when. Because we can go in a few different directions, okay? We can kind of sprout off from the offer that you've already got. If you want to scale, you've got a few decisions. You can go after the same avatar as you're going after here, but at an earlier stage. Yeah? Same avatar, but earlier stage. And so we're going to go, well, I'm going to go ahead and help people down here with a new offer, and it's going to help people who don't know about the coaching business yet. They've never been exposed to that yet. So I want to create a business opportunity product that will open up their minds to the fact that this opportunity is available. And then if people come into this and they get the result there, then they might be able to move up into my core offer. And then once they get the result here, maybe they move up into my next offer as well. You tracking with me so far? Yeah? So it might be that I say, well, I've got this core offer here. Once they get momentum, then they move up, well, and I do, it's called expansion. So then they can move up into our next one called expansion once they have the result. So you start to bake into your offer suite the fact that as they get results, they can move up through your value ladder. And then, of course, we can sprout off the other way. We can say, well, this offer here is servicing people at this avatar level. I don't want to change the avatar level. I just want to change the vehicle that I'm helping them with. I've got a 5K offer here. Okay, I want to bolt on maybe a $1,000 course. Same avatar, but I'm going to do a $1,000 thing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and do a webinar that sells this, and some people will come and find this. That will help with my acquisition costs for my advertising perhaps, and some people will go, do you know what? I love that offer. That was super cool. I want to come and get the proper help in the bigger program. I want to be able to, I want to get closer to John and the team, or closer to you and your team, whatever the case may be. Now you have these two offers. You target this avatar here with your marketing, and now you have two offers, and they can decide. I'm going to learn the same thing, but do I want to learn it with a $1,000 course because I'm a little bit nervous and I don't want to spend too much at this point? Or do I want to learn this from, John, but I want to pay a bit more and get closer to him? Same thing over here. You could have a really, high ticket offer. Maybe it's $25,000. It's the same avatar helping them with the same problem, but you have a much higher ticket program. So between this, you can start to create the map of what your offer suite starts to look like. Is this making sense? Yes. Awesome. Great stuff. So I spent too long on that, but I wanted to make sure that we understood that. So that's horizontal and vertical offers. Once we've got our house in order, that's when we can move to step 2. Oh, that was pointless, wasn't it? Let's do this. So then we move to step 2. And step 2 is now when you can go out there and start getting your traffic. And there's a few different ways that you can do it. You can buy it, you can build it, or you can borrow it. When you think about traffic, everything falls into one of those 3 categories. We're either going to go out on social media, we're going to run some ads, we're going to do Facebook, we're going to do Instagram, we're going to do LinkedIn, we're going to do Google, we're going to do whatever the case may be. We're going to go out and run some traffic, and we're going to pay for it. We're going to buy it. This is a way of getting traffic quickly and easily. None of you in the room have a traffic problem. You do realize that. It's a conversion problem that you have. You don't have a traffic problem. When you say, I can't get traffic and I can't get enough people to come see my page, that doesn't make any sense. Because you can spend some money and you're guaranteed to get traffic. So we don't have a traffic problem. The problem is that your messaging isn't right, you're not speaking to the right people, and you're not getting the conversions in the funnel. So you actually have a messaging and a conversion problem. You don't have a traffic problem. We can all go to Zuckerberg tomorrow and we can buy some ads. So that's first option. Second option is build it. And I've got a traffic panel coming up tomorrow, and we're going to talk about a bunch of different ways that you can build traffic. How can you build an audience on LinkedIn? How can you build an audience on Instagram? How can you build an audience on YouTube? It's a slightly longer play, but you have a really solid, high-value audience that you can go out to again and again, that know you, like you, follow you, and trust you. And then when you do call to actions, they pay attention. It's really, really cool. And then you've got borrow it. And borrow it traffic is where we go out there and we find people that already have the audience that we want, and we find ways to weave our way in and borrow that audience. That might be finding the podcasts in your industry. People that already have a podcast with listeners that would be your dream clients. So then we connect with those people. We build those relationships and we attempt to borrow that traffic. Same thing here with these events. It's getting on other people's stages. Virtual stages, webinars, in-person stages. It's finding people that have the audience and getting in front of them. So we're going to talk more about this tomorrow. Tomorrow is all about traffic. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into all of these. But what I will say for now is that you should put it in your notes. We're in a time right now where you should really think about having a strategy for all three of these. Yeah? Anything you could do with traffic falls into one of those three categories, and you need to be having something that you're doing on a regular basis to tick these three off. Paid ads are great, but they're not getting any cheaper. So they're still great to scale and scale fast, but we also want to make sure we're building an audience that we can balance that with, and then we've got these opportunities where we're partnering with people and having a good, getting in front of audiences without having to pay. These two take a little bit more time. This is quicker. This makes up your full strategy. Tracking with me? Make sense? All right, very cool. Once we've done that, then we get into step 3. And step 3 is really, really important, because in step 3, we're now talking about what is your marketing that you're sending all of this traffic to. We're buying it, we're borrowing it, we're building it, and all of those clicks need to be going somewhere. And so let's draw out a little funnel here. Awful looking funnel. You can see that I'm not an artist. So then at the top of the funnel, when all of that traffic's coming in, we're borrowing it, we're building it, we're buying it. At the very beginning, we need lead capture. All of that traffic is going in through the front door of you collecting at least a name and an email, but maybe a phone number as well. And just for what it's worth, and it might not be the same in every industry, but when we bolted on asking for a phone number on our opt-in pages for lead magnets, webinars, you name it, we didn't see a reduction in opt-in. If you make it optional that they can fill that out, then about 70-80% of leads will just give you the number. And so now it's a much higher value lead. We didn't pay any more for it. So really important tip to mention there. But everything comes through here. So then all of these leads are coming out of your lead capture, and we'll talk about what we're going to do with those later, but you're building your list, you're building your audience, you're capturing leads. If you're doing something right now in your marketing where you're pointing the attention that you're gaining into something that there's no lead capture in the beginning, you're missing a trick. You're losing a lot of people, because most people won't make a purchase or perform the action on that first interaction with you. It's going to take a little bit more, and so we need to be able to follow up. But then after we capture the lead, where do they go next? Well, then we need to have our conversion vehicle. If you've got a lead magnet right now, and you're doing the steps I've pointed out up until this point correctly, where you're driving traffic, and you're buying it, building it, borrowing it, and you're sending that traffic to lead capture, and so you've ticked all those boxes. But then, after the opt-in for the lead magnet, you take them to that dreaded page that just says, "Thanks so much, check your inbox, bye." If that's the next page, you have missed one of the most profitable opportunities in the whole business. Because that page there, after they opt in for something, is where 100% of your leads are going to see that page, and it is only a drop-off from there. Does that make sense? People opt in, everyone that opts in sees that page, now they're on your list. When you follow up and you send them more emails and content and things to click on and things to look at, you're never going to have 100% of your list seeing something ever again. It's going to be subsections. Does that make sense? Yeah? And so this next page is super important. After you capture the lead, you've got to do something with them. Do something with them immediately. This is why I love webinars, because they're tied together perfectly. Someone opts in for the webinar. So you get the lead, you get a high value lead because the intent is really strong, because they opted in for a not something quick and impulsive like a lead magnet, but they actually intended to be participating in a webinar. It's a higher value lead, and then the webinar is the conversion vehicle that provides more value, connects with them more, and then makes an offer out the other end, and they're tied together. This will allow you to turn your advertising dollars into revenue within a 24 to 48 hour period. So it's really important these two are tied together. Then we have a decision to make. A decision to make on the offer that you're starting with. Are you going to do a one-to-many offer, or are you going to do a one-to-one offer? One-to-many would be attracting customers. I'll be attracting customers. One-to-many would be, we're not doing a sales call now. We're going to finish a webinar, and at the end of the webinar, we're going to make our offer. We're going to tell them what the product is. We're going to add a few bonuses, and then we're going to give them the price and give them a link to go ahead and purchase. That would be a one-to-many sales presentation. What we can do as well is have a one-to-one, and this would be us attracting clients. So depending on what you've decided to do, when we just looked at the offer suite chart and how we think about deciding on our price, you might decide, John, I don't want to do one-to-one calls. I don't want to be on the phone. I don't want to do high ticket. Maybe you're not quite confident enough for that yet. I want to just sell a $1,000 course and I want to start there. No problem. Then start there. But your goal now is to learn how to create an incredible webinar presentation that positions you properly, that provides value, and makes an offer out the other end without the need to speak to someone. We can teach you this. It's awesome. One-to-one. You might decide, hey, I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend time going through the lower ticket stuff. I just want to go straight for a high ticket client. Great. Then what you need to learn is how to put a webinar together that positions you correctly, provides value, and then makes an offer to speak to you on the phone. And then you close. All right? So customers and clients. If, and forgive me, we're going a little bit advanced here. Is it okay if we go a bit more advanced? Is it okay? So if you're starting with one-to-many, I'm conscious I don't want to overwhelm you in the very first session of the event. But if we're going one-to-many and we're starting with customers, the bigger game plan for you would be to then create a system to turn those customers into clients. So this can be your starting point to get momentum. And once you have momentum, part of your expansion plan should be, how can I deliver to these people so well that they love it, but I also create a path to now move up and become a client. So we're starting to pick up back-end revenue now. We're increasing LTV, lifetime value of the clients that we've got. And if you started with clients, you started with a high-ticket one-to-one offer, then you might also want to include that. As you progress with your expansion plan, you might want to find a way to turn clients into customers. And this is how we start to build out the expansion plan. All right? Everyone track with me so far? Okay, so we've got customers and clients, they're coming down into the next stage, and we've got leads, and they're coming down into the next stage, which, by the way, we've just covered 2, forgive me. That was step 4. So step 4 is the sales part, step 3 is the lead capture and the vehicle. And then we move down to step 5. And step 5 is now where we go into nurture and conversion. Nurture and further conversion, okay? So what's going to happen is you've got your leads coming down from your lead capture. So you've got your little bucket here of emails, and you've also got your customers and clients coming down, and we've got delivery. So we're delivering for those customers and clients, and we've got your email list building. You've got your warm audience building, which, by the way, becomes something of a 4th traffic source. You could kind of put it under build it because you have built this list, but obviously it's slightly different to how we're doing it on social. This here becomes an incredibly powerful traffic strategy. You'll get to a point where you've built an email list up to a point where you can send one email, click send, it goes out to thousands of people, and you make a bunch of sales. It's like the closest thing to push button money that actually exists. Most of those things don't exist. There's the closest thing to it. You build a list of raving fans and you sell something or offer something to them and then they buy. So what do we do to nurture these people? Well, the first thing I want to point out, and this is really critical, is if you are thinking in your business right now about what we would call top of funnel. So we just talked about the attention, the clicks, the traffic that you're getting into your funnel, that's top of funnel. If you're only thinking about the people you're putting in top of funnel, what's happening with them as they come through the process, and whether they buy or not, and that being the end point. And then going, okay, well, I haven't got a high enough conversion on this now, so what I'm going to do is I just need to go ahead and get more traffic. So you just start the process again, and you're constantly getting more traffic, putting it through, did it convert? No. More traffic, put it through, did it convert? No. And if that's the process you're stuck in, that will actually be one of the reasons why you're struggling to get momentum, okay? Because what you're not doing is thinking about all of these people on your email list that have raised their hand and said, I'm interested, Matt, I like your business, I like the sound of this, I like the messaging, but I just didn't buy yet. And even if you have a small list, let's say you've got, 139 people here. And you think that's just built over time. I've got 2 people here and 4 people there and 17 people there. And over the space of a few months, I've got 139 people. If you look around you now in this room and you imagine what a portion of this room would be, about 139, I mean, real people with thoughts, feelings, emotions, desires, pains, they're not all going to react to the same information that you put out to make a buying decision. So you've got 139 people down here that are being ignored while you go back to try to find more fresh people to hopefully buy your thing to deliver to. So this is building, but you're forgetting about it, and it's an incredibly valuable resource for us to follow up with. Tracking with me? Yeah? No. Tracking with me? Good? Okay. I hope I'm not giving you too much too quick, but I want to just give you the full map, and then we're going to pick it apart as we go through the next 3 days. So we've got 139 people on the list. Well, the first thing that we can do is we can follow up. And it should be the first thing that you do. You've got people coming onto your list. It's part of your process that, yes, you tried to find more traffic, but the people that are already on your list, you're going to go ahead and follow up with them. Maybe you got some phone numbers from the opt-in. Maybe you had them book a call with you and then they didn't show up. Maybe they go onto your pipeline and you check in with them as to why they didn't show up later on down the track. Maybe you had a sales conversation. This is an important one. You had a sales conversation with someone. They didn't buy, but you got on really well with them. Don't forget about that person. In 30 days' time, check in and ask them if they're still struggling with that issue and whether they're still looking for help. Just sending that one simple email to a really good hot lead might be the thing that has that lead return and go, you know what? Yeah, it's been 30 days and I still haven't done what I said I was going to do. I think I do need some help. You're right. Let's talk again. That could be another $5,000 client, $10,000 client, sat there on your email autoresponder that you were just ignoring. There could be some buyers in there, and we just have to make it part of our process to follow up. Yep, make sense? Okay, next, value. We also want to maintain a good relationship with these leads, so we're providing value to them as well. And there's a really nice way of doing this, which is that I send emails to my list that then point them to my YouTube channel. Because I want to build my YouTube channel as a traffic source. And so I'm already doing that. I'm already uploading videos there. I may as well use that as the content that I'm sending to my list. So I provide value by not promoting anything, not selling anything. I'm just sending emails to my list about some value. Okay? And the last one is second chance. Second chance. This is where, if we're following up, it's with a slightly more hotter lead that actually performed an action in your business but then didn't make the final one of buying something. A second chance would be where you send out an email to everyone in your list, everyone in your audience, and just give them all a second chance to come back and hear about the funnel that they already heard about not too long ago. For some people, they'll join your list, they'll watch your webinar, and they won't book a call because they just didn't see the value, didn't see the need right there and then in that moment. But then they get an email from you 30 days later reminding them about the webinar, giving them a chance to come back. I guarantee you, some people will go, hey, do you know what? Let me take that webinar seriously. Let me check that out again. And they come back and they watch it a second time. And for some people, it takes watching it a second time and the fact that it's been another 30 days, maybe 60 days, maybe more, and they still haven't gotten the result in their business where they go, yeah, probably should work with Fez now and sign up to his program. So take action the next time. So you do a second chance. And all of these things are designed to move people back up into the conversion vehicle that you already had there. Make sense? Yep, great. Then over here on delivery, we're going to get a little bit advanced, but I think this is super cool and it's important to point out. If you want to master the process of delivering for your customers and clients and then increasing lifetime value, what you want to think about is 2 things. Number 1, these are salt and pepper shakers. I feel like I have to tell you because my drawing is so terrible. What we're going to do is we're going to season the delivery with mentions of the other things that you have. So rather than just delivering a course, if you've got a $1,000 course, rather than just delivering it and feeling like, gosh, I couldn't possibly say the name of another product I've got or allude to the fact that I have coaching, because isn't that going to make them think that they're not getting value for what they just bought? And we overthink. And I used to do that. I used to overthink it. And then I realized, oh, no one actually cares. I remember going through a course by Frank Kern. Anyone a Frank Kern fan? Yeah, one of the OGs. I'm doing my best to get him here. Let's hope for next year. I'm really trying. So I remember going through one of Frank's courses. $1,000 course, paid for it. I knew what I was getting, started going through the content, and he kept mentioning that he had this higher ticket thing that was where you could work with him and his team closer. And he mentioned it quite a number of times throughout the program. Did I feel like the content was any less valuable because he was doing that? I actually didn't. Furthermore, I actually appreciated it because I wanted to know what else was available in case it was the right thing for me. So he had seasoned the program with mentions of what's next, and I actually found that helpful. I actually liked it because if I was ready for it, then I know it's coming. It's not a surprise to me, and I could even reach out to his team and ask about it. So we season our programs with mentions of the other stuff. It's really important. The next piece that we do to master this is people come to you. Let's, for the first time, use a different color. That'll be exciting. We've got a problem. Then there's another problem over here. And there's a solution in the middle. And this is because when they come to you and they buy your program, they come with a problem. Whatever that problem is for you helping and serving your audience, your avatar, they have a problem that your program and your service and your business can help them to solve. So to master this process would be to help them. They come to you with a problem, you help them with that problem, you get them the solution creates the next problem. Because they're moving up the avatar ladder. This is where you see it starting to all come together. Because if they didn't want to just stop at the next solution, but there was another level for them and there's more that they want to achieve and they were stuck at one part of it, well, now you've helped them get the solution, they're happy, they're delighted, but now you've unlocked the next problem. For me and my business, it's when we help our clients get momentum. Well, now they've got momentum, they're super excited, they're a 6-figure coach, but now they want to get to 7 figures. It's a different terrain. Now it's team building, now it's leadership, now it's getting yourself out of the day-to-day, now it's tracking the right numbers, now it's getting in the right rooms. So I've created the next problem. You see how that works? So you need to do that in your business as well. Problem, solution, problem. All right? And then, got our final piece with our last 2 minutes, and this is the extra expansion stuff as well here. So we've got step 6, and when you are at the expansion level, so you've got momentum already. I need to make this clear. You should not be doing this yet unless you are already 20, 30, 40K per month in the business. You shouldn't really be thinking about this next step. But we basically just do a couple more things with our email list. And the first thing we do is we're looking for JVs. So we're looking for strategic partners now, because that is a way to increase the revenue that you're generating from your business, from your audience, from your email list, by partnering with other people that have complementary offers to you. Not competing, but complementary offers. You share the same avatar, but you serve them slightly differently. So you can do joint ventures now and do a promotion out to your list, promoting their product, and you can do a revenue split. And then the last thing is gift box funnels. We haven't got time to go into this, but we will touch on it as we go through the next 3 days. But a gift box funnel is where we now take the same offer that you already had and you wrap it up differently and then you re-offer it to your audience. So here, we're doing a second chance. We're saying, hey, you opted in for that webinar, and it's been 30 days now. Do you want to come back and check it out again? Well, that's a second chance to the same vehicle, the same thing, the same offer out the other end as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, well, that webinar was going to be offering a $5,000 coaching program. I'm now going to wrap it up differently, and instead of a webinar now, I'm going to do a VSL, or I'm going to do a challenge. I'm going to do something different. The wrapper's going to be different to draw them in, but once they go through that process, it's the same offer being sold out the other end. Does that concept make sense? Yeah? Cool. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you again later on today.